Welcome back, Guardians. Shadow Killer here, and on today's episode of DTR, we're going to talk and go over some of the better weapons for the weekly reset of the vendors. So, let's see what Executor Hideo has for this week. So, in my opinion, the free will this week is actually a decent roll. It has Hidden Hand, Hammer Forge to increase that range, because we all know we need that range increase on hand cannons. Plus it has high caliber round with that little bump of extra range. Plus it might help stagger in PvP and stagger enemies in PvE. Or you can use Snapshot for quicker draw times and aim down sight. Plus it also has Sure Shot, so you get a increased aim assist with higher range with more aim assist. I know it's not the best hand cannon for PvP, but I think it would be a fun weapon to play with for the final days of Destiny 1. So, on to the next weapon. We have the Bad Counsel. Now, it has certain perks that make it usable. I find this is more of a PvE role, but it can also work for PvP. You have Final Round, which won't be utilized that much in PvP, but it can be used in PvE. You have Small Bore, both range and stability increase, and it does not take away from your magazine. You have Hand Loaded, give you that little bit of extra range, or if you want to go for PvP, use Snapshot, because it helps fix the nerf to the draw time that they had before. Any of these barrels right now, Linear Compensator is the better one to go with. So, on to the next weapon. We have Disposition. Now this is another unique weapon with certain perks. You have Hidden Hand, bonus aim assist. You have Hammer Forge, you don't need that on a sniper rifle, so you can go life support. Now you have high caliber round if you're doing PvE stuff, but if you're doing PvP, just use quick draw, right? So we also have the Hawkeye SLR-15, which is a mid resume, but it also gives you a target acquisition. So you have an increase of 2 aim assist bonuses. You could use the Longview SLR-10 for the low zoom scope. It's kind of like the short gaze a little bit. But with that, let's head over to the Crucible. And we are here with our friend Archie, the Crucible Quartermaster. Let's see what weapons he brought this week, which are the best ones. So, going to look over the 0-Day Dilemma. It is so close to being a really, really good roll. So, you have Perfect Balance, you have Rifle Barrel, you have Crowd Control, Hip Fire, and Sure Shot. If we had Counterbalance right here, this would be a very must-have weapon. You can either go with more stability or use the Counterbalance to control the recoil and have max range. With Crowd Control and bonus aim assist, if that was Counterbalance, it would be such a good roll that I would highly recommend anyone to pick up. So, for our next weapon is the infamous Palindrome. This is so close to the God roll. It has Luck in the Chamber, Hammer Forge, Icarus, and True Sight IS. True Sight IS is my preferred sight because I like the increase of aim assist and the little bit of stability it does give. But if this perk right here is Rifle Barrel, this would be the God roll. I personally prefer Luck in the Chamber over Rangefinder. A lot of people have different opinions, but for me, I like that body shot that goes up to almost the same damage as a headshot. It just allows the gun to have a little bit more consistency in close quarters, where you might not have killed them, but that Luck in the Chamber helped you out. And you have the potential to 2-tap, and I always seem to find that within the first 4, maybe 5 bullets, I'll hit the Luck in the Chamber. So if you don't have one, like a weapon of this type, I would highly recommend picking this up just to try it out. So, for the next weapon, Each New Day. This is so close to the God roll that I've been searching for. You have Counterbalance, Small Bore, Icarus, and Reflex Sight for improved aim assist. Now you're asking, what can make this even better? Now, just like the Saladin's Vigil, if you have Braced Frame, it basically maxes out the stability almost, and it makes it really consistent. If we had Braced Frame on here, the increase from Rifle Barrel, in my opinion, does not isn't warranted enough for the stability bump that Braced Frame would give. And Braced Frame and coupled with Counterbalance, you're gonna have a laser. It's just gonna be just a straight line pretty much, and you'll be hitting people so consistently because you're not going to have that random spread. Yeah, when the fusion rifle goes off, it's going to be perfectly vertical. But still, for this week though, counterbalance, small bore, and Icarus with reflex, this is a really good role for a fusion rifle to go and use in the Crucible. I'd highly recommend you picking it up. Now for the next weapon, the 44 Curtain Call. We have a max shotgun for range. We have rangefinder, rifle barrel, and we have field choke. You will hit max range with this. Plus, you also have knee pads. Now, a lot of people would say, well, you have rangefinder, the aim down sight isn't as fast as what it once was. This is true, but if you can couple that with knee pads and you slide and you pre-aim down sight, I believe by the time you finish sliding, you will already be aimed down sight to take advantage of the increased damage fall off from rangefinder. So if you don't already have a Matador, I'd highly recommend this shotgun for PvP. Now on to our final weapon from the Crucible, Quartermaster, is something wicked. It has grenades and horseshoes, it has field scout, it has life support and grenader, and it also has soft launch. This is so close. If it would have just had javelin for one of these perks, it would be an amazing PvP rocket launcher, but it is still very good. PvE, I'd recommend Grenadier, because as soon as you throw a grenade and you kill like a group of ads, if there's 4 or 5 of them, you'll get your grenade back in a second. But for PvP, use life support, because if you're in that close engagement and you're really hurt, you might be able to regen your health from the kill. Now, Field Scout is what's really a good must in PvE, because it'll help max out your inventory and your ammo pull on each one. But in PvP, I think it might be able to pull 3, but I'm not 100% sure on that one, so don't quote me on it. But this rocket launcher is a good role for PvP and PvE, and I would recommend anyone who doesn't have a rocket launcher to pick it up. So with that, let's head over to Dead Orbit and take a look at what they're... So we're here at Dead Orbit with Arak Jalal, and we're going to see what weapons he brought this week, which are the best ones. So let's take a look. The Keystone 1, I feel, is a good PvE role. You have Hidden Hand, you have Outlaw, you can use explosive rounds, and you have full auto. The sights, in my opinion, are not the greatest, but if you can work with the sight, I think it's a good PvE role. I would personally use explosive rounds over full auto, because this weapon shoots slow enough, and you can't mess up the fire rate pretty, like, in my opinion. So I would use explosive rounds. It helps take off shields off of the enemies a lot quicker. It's not like negative damage with the bullets. It actually takes off the shields a lot faster than kinetic weapons do. So I'd recommend that one for PvE. Next, we have a Worlds to Come. Reason why I'm recommending this one is because you have increased aim assist with Hidden Hand, you have Hammer Forge for increased range, and you also have accelerated coils with reflex. Now, the reason why I said accelerated coils is because this is a unique charge and impact ratio, where I think this does 47 for damage for each bolt. But even though you increase accelerated coils, the damage is going to be around 44, I believe. But regardless if it's 44 or 47, it's still a 5-bolt kill. So it's a lot better. So you can get a faster charge time, and you'll still have the consistency of killing people easily. Now, my personal opinion of what would be a god roll for this one is if you have accelerated coils, you had small bore here, and you had rangefinder right there. That would be what you'd want for this weapon. Now, on to the next one. We have the Bitter Edge 10. Now, this isn't the best sniper rifle, like archetype, but it's a really unique one right now. You have Hidden Hand, you have Triple Tap, and you have explosive rounds. You have Hawkeye SLR 15 for the increased aim assist, and you also have Ambush. Now, if you're going PvP or going to try to use PvP, because this is a high aim assist already sniper rifle, you could go with Hawkeye, because you're going to have a huge aim assist. This plus the Hidden Hand plus the high already aim assist that's on it, massive. If you use Ambush for the increased stability, You will have a negative aim assist, but the gun has so much that I don't think you'll notice it. But you can use the Hawkeye with quick draw and triple tap and hidden hand, or you can do hammer forge just to have a consistency of aim assist across the whole map if you really want to. But for PvE, I would go triple tap and explosive rounds with ambush. The reason why I say this is because it has 5 bullets in the mag. So you shoot 3, you pull 1. So now you have 3 now in your magazine. You shoot 3, you pull another one. So you can shoot 7 bullets if you land all headshots. And with explosive rounds, it'll help stagger the enemy, or even against boss damages, because sometimes the boss might have multiple hit points. So the explosive round will hit those hit points and do more damage. So I think this would be a fun PvE and a PvP weapon to try out. So let's go on to the next weapon. Now everyone's going to laugh, it's onto Dust. But the reason why I picked this one is just because it has the tracking, it has Javelin, it has Field Scout, and it has the linear compensator. Now the reason why I go with linear compensator. Now the reason why I'm saying this is because you can pull maximum ammo capacity. Your fire rate is literally, you can go like bang, 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 done, and shoot them all off incredibly fast on any boss or ad or whoever you're shooting it at. You do have the increased Javelin with the linear compensator, so it should travel pretty quickly. And that's just pretty much it, is just to literally DPS as much as you can in an instant. 1, 2, then just shoot, and then go to the next one, and then reload. It's just a fun PvE weapon. That's the only reason why I suggested it. So with that, let's head over to the Vanguard Quartermaster. So we're here with Ronnie, our Vanguard Quartermaster. So let's take a look at what weapons he brought this week, which are the best. You have the Continental, a mid-fire rate auto rifle. You have glass half full. I personally would wish this was counterbalanced because of these 2 perks again, like the Crucible Quartermaster one, which is braced frame, which is perfectly fine for a 37 round magazine, and rifle barrel. Now the braced frame will bring it down to I think 31 or 32, so you're not losing that much, and you have rifle barrel. You also have crowd control for PvE. You have the quick draw IS if that's your kind of sight, and you have mid MD reflex. I would personally go with these 2 here. Don't worry about this OEG, it's way too long, but you can go with rifle barrel or braced frame. So on to our next weapon, the How Dare You. This is a fun hand cannon in my opinion. You have luck in the chamber, you have rifle barrel, you have hot swap, and you have true sight IS. So if you just want like the New Monarchy hand cannon just for a fun gun to try out in the Crucible, I'd highly recommend this because you get the max range. You don't lose that much off of your reload, and you can take advantage of the luck in the chamber by spamming the bullets because you don't lose any stability, unlike some other perks that give you range bonuses. Plus you have hot swap, so if you swap to it in the air, you get like, extra target acquisition because it makes it easier to hit. So like, I would recommend that weapon for a fun gun. Now the next gun would be Bone Crusher. The reason why I'm saying this one for this week is you have rangefinder, you have perfect balance, you have army of 1, and you have the smart drift control. I would personally use smart drift control. Yes, it lowers your impact, yes, it lowers your range, but it increases your stability. Just hear me out on this. The impact is high enough to the point where max impact and even taking off a few damage points isn't going to change the time to kill. It's still going to be the exact same time to kill. So increasing your stability to be more consistent with perfect balance will make the gun a lot more accurate. Plus you have rangefinder to counteract the range that you lost. Now I think this is a really good LMG because of army of 1. Ad control would be a must with this weapon, and you'll get back your melees and your grenades really fast. And I think this would be a great PvE weapon. I wouldn't really recommend it for PvP, but for PvE, I'd say give it a shot, give it a whirl. So with that, let's go take a look at what Future War Cult has for this week. Hello, and we are back with Lakshmi, from the Future War Cult. Let's see what she brought this week for being the best weapons. So we have the Whale. It is a good roll this week with reactive reload, outlaw, perfect balance, explosive rounds, and sure shot IS. Now, in my opinion, go with outlaw, go with reactive reload and explosive rounds for PvE, and if you want to try it for PvP, do so too. You can 2-tap people with reactive reload, but you won't see it happen as frequently as you will in PvE because, you know, ads are a lot easier to kill, and you don't have that range stat to compete with other weapons like the Palindrome. But for PvE, this is, I would say, a really good roll. Explosive rounds help take off shields, and it helps stagger enemies. Plus, with the quick, if you get the headshot and then reactive reload, you'll be dishing out a lot of damage really fast. So for the next weapon, we have the Waltz. We have Headseeker, we have Small Bore, and we also have Steady Hand for all that increased stability of what you need on a fast fire rate pulse rifle. The only problem is that these two perks right here. Probably go Flare Magwell because the lightweight perk only works if you're walking. It doesn't increase your jump, it doesn't increase your run or your sprint speed, as I should say. And you shouldn't go with Third Eye because Small Bore just has much more of a benefit. Headseeker does help the time the kill being more consistent. If you land a body shot then 2 headshots, the bonus damage that comes on each headshot, if you add that up, will take away 1 full body shot away if it happens. So you can still 3-burst someone if you do that. So on to the next weapon. We have the Waiting. Now the reason why I'm suggesting this one is because you have Rangefinder, you have Perfect Balance for more consistency, you also have Quick Draw, so if you want to swap to it and start charging it, you can do that a lot quicker. You have Reflex for more aim assist. This is an archetype that does 49 damage a bolt. Depending on the Guardian's armor, you can still 4-bolt someone, but if they're running max armor, you will not. So if you don't have one, I'd say try it out, have fun. But if you already have a Saladin's Vigil, I would just pass on this weapon as a whole. Now normally the Wounded is a weapon that is always very consistent each week, but this week it just doesn't seem to cut it just so much. It's just an average weapon. And then the Wormwood is not that good. It doesn't have the perks it needs to become competitive, as you would say, in PvP. And the Warpath does have cluster bombs, but it's missing the all-important Field Scout and Tripod to go up against Axis to do maximum DPS. So with that, that's going to be it for this video. Subscribe if you're new to the channel to see more content. Hit the like button and comment. Leave one, please. I'd like to talk to you guys in the comment section. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Take it easy. Shadow out.